Hi guys, in this video I will be explaining how to use point plotting technique to solve questions. In grade 11 we studied point plotting technique. In order to sketch a graph, we made a table of values. We gave some x values from -2 to 2, found the corresponding y values by substituting the x values into the function. We got ordered pairs, and by plotting the ordered pairs on the coordinates plane one by one and connecting the point, we got our function. That was the way to sketch a graph. But in grade 12, since the questions are multiple choice, we don't need to make table of values with 5, 6 values. It's enough for most of the questions. It's enough to try only 1 point. For some of the questions, 2 points will be enough. So since time is crucial in exam, we won't be wasting our time by doing this table. We will use 1, 2 or 2 points to figure out the correct answer. We have two types of questions. Questions either give us the graph of the function. It asks about the function itself, or it gives us the function, it asks about its graph. So in either case, trying 1 or 2 points will be enough to solve the question. Let's take a look at some ministry questions. First, 2022 ministry question. It gives us the graph function, it's asking about its graph. So we pick a point, we pick an x value, and is x value. So let's say our x is, just use a value that's easy for you. 0 is the easiest number for me. I'm going to use 0. So if x is 0, what is your y? Substitute 0 for x. So y equals 2 over 0 minus 2 is -1. So my point on this function is 0 minus 1. So our graph also should satisfy this point. So in which graph we have this point? We will try options one by one. Let's start from D. At 0, what do we have? At 0, we have negative 0 point something. 0, negative 0 point, let's say 5. So that's not true. This graph didn't satisfy that point. So option D is false. Option C, at 0, what's the y value? It's 0 point something, this time is positive. 0, 0 point, let's say 5. This is not our answer either, because this graph didn't satisfy that point. Option B, our graph is passing through at 1 when x is 0. So that's not the same point either. So B is not our answer. In option A, at 0, our function is passing through -1. So 0, -1, the graph is satisfying this point. So that's our answer. All right, like this. See, 1 point solved our question. If we had two options with the same point, then we would try another point. So questions will be solved in this way. All right. Another question. This time the graph is given, 2022 ministry exam question. Again, the first attempt this time. The graph is given, a function is asked, the opposite. We will do the same. This time we will pick a point from the graph. Let's pick a point from the graph. Let's pick a clear point. For example, this one is clear. What is this point? 0 for x, 5 for y. So try 0, 5 in options one by one. When x is 0, what's our y? 0 minus 2, absolute value -2, 2 plus 1 is 3. So this didn't satisfy. The point here is 0, 3, not 0, 5. They are not same. So option A is false. Option B, substitute 0 for x. Here I have 2 times 2, 4, 4 minus 1, 3 again. My point for option B is 0, 3, which is different than 0, 4. So that's not our answer either. This function didn't satisfy that point. Let's try option C, substitute 0 for x. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. So 0, 5 is true. That point, the function satisfied the same point. Try D. When you substitute 0 for x, absolute value minus 2 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So our point here in option D is 0, 7, which is totally different. We are supposed to get 0, 5. So that's not our answer either. Apparently, our answer is C. So we tried 1 point from the graph. Using the same point in each option one by one, we got the correct option. Let's move on. 2021 second attempt mystery question. Again, graph is given, function is asked. Pick a point from the graph. Pick a clear point like this point. What is this point? 0, 1. So let's substitute 0 for x and see if the result is 1 in each option one by one. When x is 0, 1 squared is 1, minus in front, 2 minus 1 is 1. So that's satisfied. Option A is satisfying this given point. Try option B. Substitute 0. Negative 1 minus 2 minus 3. That didn't satisfy. 0 minus 3 is not true. It's supposed to be 0, 1. So B is false. I eliminated B. Option C, substituting 0 will give us negative 1 squared 1 minus in front minus 1 plus 2 1. So that also satisfies. 0, 1 is correct. Option D, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. So 0 gives us minus 3. This point is not same as 0, 1. So that's false. So I eliminated 2 options. I am left with 2 more options. So unlike the previous questions, we need to try one more point. So let's pick one more clear point. So this point is not clear. I don't know what the x value is. I don't know what the x value here is. I know the x value here. I can use this. And I know the x value here. I can use this. I can use one of those 2 points. So let me use, let's say, negative 1, 2. Okay, substitute negative 1 for x. See if the result is 2. Okay, negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So negative 1 gives us 2. That's correct. Negative 1 gives us 2. So option A is correct. Option C, substituting negative 1 gives us negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 2 squared 4, negative in front, negative 4 plus 2, negative 2. That's not correct. Our point here is negative 1, negative 2. We are supposed to get negative 1, 1. So C is not true, A is true. So that's the way. This is a way for this question. We use point plotting method. We use 1 point and see what the answer is, but we eliminated only 2 options. By using another point, we eliminated 1 more option. It's a way. We have another way for this question. Let me explain that way too. We haven't studied the transformations now yet. We will study transformations in section 3. But we studied transformations before in grade 10 to 11. If you remember the transformation rules, this is a quadratic function put upside down, reflection around x-axis, so minus is outside. Every option has a minus outside. And this function is moved 2 units up, 2 units up, which means we add 2 outside of the function. So not B, not D. We should have plus 2. And this function is moved how many units? 1 unit to the left. 1 unit to the left means inside the bracket we have plus 1. so not -1. So option A is true by using transformation rules too. So if you remember the transformation rules, moving up means adding the number outside of the bracket. Moving left means adding the number inside the bracket. Reflection around x means x being outside. So by remembering, by knowing the rules of transformation, you can also solve this question. Can't we use the same method in the previous question? Let's see. In the previous question, unfortunately, we can't use the same method, transformation rules, because remember, we are transforming parent functions. In question 4, example 4, our options are all transformed from parent functions. We don't have any stretch or compress. Nothing is multiplied or divided by the x. But here in question 3, the x's are multiplied by some values. So they are not transformed from a parent function. So for such questions, you can't use transformation rules. We have to stick with point plotting method. Example 5, 2023 first attempt ministry question. Determine the graph of the function by using point plotting method. We are given a function, graph is asked. So here I can't use transformation rules. I have 2 in front. This is not a basic functions transformation. So let's try point plotting method. So let's give some values. A value actually. Let's try one value first and see if it works. So when I give 0 to x, what happens to the y? Then you give 0 to x. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my point when I give 0 is 0, 1. I am looking for 0, 1 in options as a point. 0, 1. Okay, that's true. It may be our answer. 0, 1. Option B may be our answer. Option C is passing through 0, 0, not 0, 1. It's definitely not my answer. Option D is passing through 0, negative 1. Definitely not my answer. So I eliminated option C and D. My answer is either A or B. So I need another point to determine the answer. What point should we use? We can either pick a point from one of the graphs or we can make a point up. Like 3, for example. If x is 3, what is the y value? And when you substitute 3 for x, 3 plus 1 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 by 2 is 4. 3 minus 4 is minus 1. So my point when I have 3 for x is 3 comma negative 1. So in which option we have 3 comma negative 1? 3 comma negative 1 is here. That graph in option B is passing through 3, negative 1. In option A, it's passing through 3, 0. So totally different. It is supposed to pass at 3, negative 1, not 3, 0. So I eliminated A2. My answer is B. So this is how we use point plotting technique to answer the graph questions.